Okay, guys. Hey, how are you on 4th of July? It's an amazing, amazing day. It's an Independence Day. So today I just wanted to kind of, share and go over with you guys, like, what my thoughts are about, 4th of July. I mean, what does it mean? People always talk about, oh my gosh, 4th of July, it's a day of freedom. I mean, have you ever really sat down and, like, looked at what it means to be free? Like, what is freedom? I mean, I have a lot of friends, they always say, oh, I want freedom, I want freedom, I want freedom. I mean, you know, it's very similar to what our forefathers actually fought for, here in the United States, but it's a little different from exactly, I mean, they were fighting with guns, for their freedom. Freedom of what? I mean, have you thought about it? I mean, what does 4th of July mean? Back in the days, right? When Washington was fighting for freedom. What was that freedom about? Well, it was a freedom for what? Freedom from being oppressed, freedom from like control, and freedom for basically it's freedom for their lives, okay? For what they want to do, how they want to express themselves, how they want to be. And you know what? A lot of people, wow, hi guys. So, like, I mean, think about it. Like, isn't that the same thing that we're fighting for? Like, we really are fighting for the same type of freedom, but in a different form. I mean, right now, you don't have to go out and fight a war, right? Well, yes, there's a war, but what's the real war that you're going against, you're fighting for? Well, it's the war against, right, about yourself, right? What is it? Have you thought about freedom? Like, what does that mean to be free? I think about it a lot, and I started to think about this, many years ago, when I was a kid, because I'll tell you what happened, like when I was a kid, my parents always say, you got to do this, and then the society say you have to do that, so I was a little bit rebellious, I would go to like my uncle's house, okay, like literally I go to my uncle's house, and then my parents would, it was a little rebellious. Like my parents said, we can't do that. You can't slide down the rail. My uncle has a beautiful house. And then they had these big railings, and I would just go up there and slide down and do all these things. And, that was freedom to me. What is freedom? Freedom is doing what you want when you want it, right? And just really like expressing yourself, right? Being who you are. And that's the most beautiful thing that I learned. Now, I also learned something else, that, as you go along, people always talk about freedom. And I thought about it. I thought about, well, how can I be free? Well, when I started, working, when I got a job, actually, I didn't want to leave university. Wow, hey, here from Japan. I didn't want to leave my university because you know why? Back then, it was just safe. I felt that I had freedom in my university. Well, because you know what, I didn't have to do, I had my time to do whatever I want. I can, be wherever I want, whenever I want. And I thought that was the coolest thing in life, okay? And so I didn't want to leave and get a job back then because I thought I would lose my freedom. Because, I started thinking about it. I said, well, I got to get a job. That means I have to do like 9 to 5. So every day, Monday through Friday, I can't go do stuff that I want, during that time. And, I started thinking like, man, if that is the life that I'm graduating into, is that really what I really wanted? And I'm like thinking, no. That's why, I mean, that, I don't know, my parents, probably my parents won't see this live, so I hope, so that's why I stayed in college, in my university for total 5 years. I extended an extra year because at the university, I got to do what I want. I got to express myself. I got to explore and do these things. But, I thought when I got out in the job market, it would be gone. And you know what? It's true, okay? It's true because even when I was at the university, like, I had freedom. I had a part-time job, so I get to do stuff and make some money and whatnot. But it really gave me time to explore and be who I am. And really, that's what I think freedom is being able to express yourself and be who you are and live the life you want, the way you want it, when you want it. Okay, and being able to do that at your notice like this. So I thought, this is how I need to create it. I need to create a life like that, for myself. Okay, and then of course at the same, I was thinking like, well, what if I think a lot. I'm an engineer, right? I said, well, what if I created that life myself? But, I can do what I want, go where I want, whenever I want, have enough money to do this stuff. But then I started thinking, what's the next step? Oh my gosh, I got to do this with my friends, because trust me, it's not as fun traveling alone, versus traveling with your friends, your family, and all that. And that was the next issue I thought about was, well, what about my friends? What about my family? How do you help them? How can I help them create that kind of freedom, And so I worked a job, I found that, it was great. I make money, and I'm a smart guy, so I started making more and more money as an engineer, right? But at the same time, I realized that there was still a limit, because the best time, when's the best time? I love to surf. The best time to go surfing is what? When nobody's there, okay? But just you and your friends, okay? Not nobody, you and your friends. No crowds, you're just there enjoying the ocean. That was kind of a little freedom for me. But I couldn't do that because every day I had to go to a job, right? So I'm not saying a job's bad, but there's limitations, So what kind of limitations is there on you, and how can you remove those limitations so you can really live the life you want? And really, it comes down, like I said, to expressing yourself, expressing your personal freedom of what you want and how you how you want to do it and when you want to do it. Okay, so this concept of freedom, it continues to evolve as I started working, and then after that, I started I created my own business, and I found that, back then I thought, if I own my own business, I have freedom, right? Because I can choose when I want to work, whenever I want to work. And so I started doing traditional business, with some friends, and I found that it wasn't as easy as I thought, because when I started working with my friend, I found out that, well, I have a choice. Okay, see, this is the difference between what people think. People think that freedom is having being able to juggle your schedule. Okay, it's not. That's part of it. That's a part of it. Being able to say, I want to go to work, or I want to go play, or I want to hang out with my kids, or hang out with that's part of freedom, but it's not the total freedom. Freedom is a package, It's not like saying, well, I can go do whatever I want, whenever I want, but you know what? I don't have the money to do it. Isn't that kind of, what do you guys think? Do you think that's freedom? If you think it's a freedom, if that's freedom, say yes. If you don't think it's freedom, write no on here, write no and engage with me, right? Is it freedom to have the choice to do things, but then you don't have the money to do it? Right? No, right? If you agree, say no. Or there was the other thing was, some people have a lot of money, right? And I thought about this. I said, well, I can make a lot of money. I can do this, right? I started making a lot of cash, and that's the other side is like, I have the financial, I have enough finances to do things, but then I don't have the time to do. Absolutely, guys. It's missing. So I said, okay, well, what can I do? So I've worked a job. I had my own business, and it's like one or the other, job, you have like literally your control, and your time is controlled. And then having a business, you're like, you have even less time. Traditional business, trust me. People say, I want to own my own business. It's not you don't have the freedom of time. You actually are spending more time than at your job, because the job, sometimes you can kind of go home, right? So there's a difference. Now, I'm not saying that working is not good. I'm saying I believe that you got to work hard. You got to work to create the life you want. Okay, but it takes that work to create the life that you want. And that's what happened for me. I worked my butt off, to have this kind of freedom. I can travel whenever I want. I can buy whatever I want. And it's just, it takes time and energy. So in the beginning, to create this freedom of this lifestyle that you want to have the time, you want the money, okay? You want to be able to have the choice. It takes effort. In the beginning, you're actually not free, okay, to do it. But you got to think ahead, right? I thought having a job was the way to do it. And I looked at it when I climb up the ladder. I go, oh my gosh, I'm going to have less time as a CEO or whatnot, than before. You can have the money, but it's like unbalanced. or running my own business. The bigger I get, the more it kind of, it's like, oh my God, things get bigger, right? And a lot of times people don't have the time to do it. And so I realized this, okay? How do you have both? And it takes effort to do it. And in the beginning, you gotta like crank it out. I mean, like nonstop. When I built this business, it was like in the beginning nonstop. I mean, morning to night. I mean, if you talk to my wife and I worked from like, we get up at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then we work until like 2 a.m., like 1, 2 a.m. And then, we sleep for like 5, 6 hours, and we go and do it Monday through Sunday. That's called creating your freedom. Okay. Many people miss this part. They go, oh, I want to be free, I got my own business, I got whatever, and then you know what? I don't have to work today if I don't want to. Yeah, but you don't have an income. You haven't set it up yet, right? So I realized it early because I've tried that too. Okay, I tried it in the beginning when I first started my first business. I go, okay, yeah, I want to go surf. I don't want to get up, but then I found out there was no income coming in. So you have to create your freedom, So it takes time, energy to build it. But if you spend your time and energy to build it, you can create something that's lasting. It can last you a lifetime. If you set it up correctly, it can last your family a lifetime. You can pass it to your next generation and next generation and next generation. The question is how, right? What and how? And that's what took me a long time to figure out. I tried many ways to create it, but it does take creation. You got to have that vision. You got to have that fortitude that, when they pound you like this, you got to say, okay, I give up again. Because you will be pounded, Anything that's worth it in life, that's huge, that can create the dreams, for you, there are always going to be naysayers, people that don't agree with you, people who see something different way. And guess what? I just wanted you guys to know this. They are not wrong. To us, the ones that are freedom fighters, yes, they're wrong. Go, damn it, why are you like squashing my dreams and whatnot? Look, all it is, their reality is different from yours. That's it. My parents were not wrong. My dad was not wrong when he said, hey, listen, what you're doing doesn't make sense. You want to be a multimillionaire? You said that before and it didn't work, right? It's not they're wrong. It's just they don't understand. They have a different vision. They have a different reality from you. So instead of convincing them, saying, fight, right? This is what I used to do. I used to fight my dad. No, you're wrong. I'm trying to explain to him why. I realized later, stop fighting the people, and I don't call them naysayer. I call them as ways to kind of view, like what I'm doing. I realize this. When I have a lot of people telling me no, this is it, that doesn't work, guess what I realized? That's the stuff that works, because many people live a certain lifestyle, right? And then that's why they have that life, right? And they do the things that create that kind of lifestyle. So they have the freedom within that little bubble. And that's okay, people are happy with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But what if you want something outside of the bubble? Something completely different. And that is what it takes. What it takes you to think differently. So I just said, hey, my parents, hey, you're not wrong. So how do you prove that? You just got to prove it to yourself. Just prove it to yourself. You don't have to prove it to anybody else in the world. You just go after it like crazy. And that's what I did, nonstop, 24/7. Well, not 24/7, 7 a.m. to like 1, 2 a.m. every day, 2 years in a row. And it's created a lifestyle that's just generated this kind of amazing lifestyle. So what is freedom? Okay. Summing it up, it's not about money, and it is about money. It's not about time, and it is about time. Okay. And it's about choice, and it's not about choice. So what is it? It's about all of them. Okay, and there's much more than that. There's many more. Having time to do the things you want. Okay, people think having time is having choices to do something. That's freedom. No, that's just a part of it. You gotta have the money. You gotta have the income. Some people say, well, money is the root of all evil. It's not. Okay, that's like completely wrong information. Money is not the root of all evil. Okay, money is just money. It's how you use it. Okay, you can use it to do good, you could do it to whatever, it's your choice. So you gotta have time to do things, okay? You gotta have the money. You gotta have a choice, okay, to do. These are pieces of what I see as freedom. Okay, and you know what? If you look at it, look at our forefathers in the United States. I know we have people from all over the world viewing. Okay, if you look at our forefathers and that's what they did, right? They wanted this free life. Okay, and that's what I realized. And once I realized that that is what I want, okay, back then when I was young, I said, great, let me figure out a way to do it. And you can do it any way, okay? There's many ways to do it. I mean, I do a very interesting way. We do things on social media now. So, join us in the social media revolution, right? It's actually an evolution. And you can do that. You can create this kind of lifestyle you want. But it takes time, effort, okay? That's guaranteed. In the beginning, to get freedom, you have no freedom. Why? Because you gotta, no freedom in terms of no time. It's not no freedom. You're building your freedom by investing your time, your money, and what you choose to do. Okay? You got to invest it. Okay? If you guys, I have people here working with me, you got to put in your time. You got to put in the money. I mean, of course, it's like almost nothing. There's no money really. And then you got to choose to do this over other things. You got to put it as a priority. And that's how you create the freedom in life. Okay, and so I mean this is my 2 cents or a few cents, my 20-minute cents for for 4th of July. So I want to say happy 4th of July. Go make it a great day. I mean, what am I gonna do? I'm actually choosing to work today because my wife is on a cruise ship. So she's in the I love her, honey. If you're watching that, I miss you. Okay, come back soon. I know you're coming back soon, but not soon enough. And it's a freedom. She's like, she wants to do this, and I'm running some things here. We're building, we're restructuring, building social media like crazy. Okay, so I choose to work. I choose to work on 4th of July. Why? Because it's my choice. My choice alone, okay? It's not I have to, I need to. No, it's a choice. So I hope that you can do that with your life, whatever you're doing out there, okay? You guys are doing many things out there. Do whatever you do, but make that a choice. And one last thing I'm gonna leave with. Some people say, I mean, even if you have a job you don't like or a business you don't like, this is what I would say, you gotta start choosing today. You gotta say, look, I love, figure out what you love about your job or what you love about that. Okay, you might need a new vehicle later. You can start looking at it, but in the meantime of your transition, you got to change your belief, how you think first. Okay, you got to say, okay, what do I love about my job? Okay, I really hate this. Okay, don't write that down. You already know that. Write down what is it that you love about it. Okay. And you'll have more energy and more passion to go after it. And then you can choose, figure out your transition to whatever you want to go. So in the meantime, you're creating this love, this passion about what you don't like even. And so when you get to what you like, you can do that. Because really, building a business in the beginning is not easy, And that's the cool thing, okay? That's the cool thing is it'll build you the fortitude. You become like literally unstoppable, and nothing can faze you from getting what you want. And I hope you guys can do that all in your life, So today is the 4th of July. I love you guys. Go chase after your freedom. Don't let anybody tell you no, and just go after it. All right? So this is Steve Huang signing off. I'm going to do some work today. I'm going to go enjoy the beach. The beach is right down the street. And I'll do a little bit of that, but I'm going to work today. All right, guys. Love you guys. Ciao. And honey, I love you. I miss you. I'll see you soon.